Okay.
Well, it's been a long time since we posted a video. Mainly, there just hasn't been much of interest to put in a video, and secondly, I'm still trying to retrieve the lost videos from, of all places, Pakistan. So, but I did think it would be interesting. I'm about to start putting my chassis together. I thought it would be interesting to document putting that together from the beginning and go through it. So hopefully this will be the first of several, and they won't be near as far apart in the next month or two. This chassis is ready for assembly. It's been painted. The lizard skin heat proofing has been put on it, and then it's been coated with a pickup bed liner material. That pickup bed liner material is a company called Novel. They are out of, let's go right here. They are out of Poland. They have a distributor in Canada. This is something that I saw at SEMA last year. It's the pickup bed liner stuff, but you mix the actuator in. This is actually the gun right here. It cost a whopping $10. But the cool thing about this stuff is it's a really, really nice, tough, well-textured deal. But with this little gun, the typical bed liner stuff, you got this bazooka-looking thing that you're trying to do it with. And when you're trying to get up in all these intricate little corners and everything, that bazooka doesn't work. This little deal enables you to get in here and do everything. So this is about the fourth product that I've tried on that bed liner stuff, and I think I found it. This package right here is $100. It takes about 2 of those packages to do a car. So real happy with that. The lizard skin, we've talked about that. That's space shuttle ceramic heat treatment. What we've done here is we sprayed that on the rear bulkhead, the front bulkhead, the bottom, and then put the bed liner over it. Came out really, really nice. I'm really happy with it. This chassis is on its side right now because I've done something different the last couple of chassis. The fuel tanks now go in from the bottom, which makes it much easier to take it out through the bottom if it ever needs to be serviced or anything. The utility tunnel deal here, which is your radiator lines, your air conditioner lines, and your heater lines, have all stayed the same, but they are in a piece that comes out, and then the fuel tank comes out this bottom. This piece that these are in is lizard skinned as well. There was no need to bedline any of that, so it's kind of the gray color of the lizard skin as opposed to the black of this. I have started putting a few little pieces and parts on this thing. I've got it on its side because this is a whole lot easier to put in on the side instead of on jack stands, but this chassis is ready to turn over onto jack stands and start assembling it. But I have put a few little pieces on. I've got all the riv nuts in it. We've talked about those in the past. I've hung a few little things, muffler brackets, just a few little things that I could put on it while I was doing this. This chassis, without the coating, the bare aluminum composite monocoque chassis weighs 207 pounds. Be a little more than that by the time it gets paint, bracketry, and so forth. But a bare chassis, complete chassis, is 207 pounds. A lot of the pieces that I put on this, we've talked about that steel in the past, this spray-on stainless steel stuff. I come get a picture right here. I've got a couple of pieces that I just put to kind of contrast that color against that black. That's the front motor mount. That's the battery hold down. You can see that we've got a whole lot of sub-assemblies and different parts ready to go on the chassis. See the line of A-arms over there, which is all steeled. These are the front fender well. As you can see that it's the carbon fiber. These are pretty dusty, but it's the carbon fiber on the outside and the lizard skin heat treatment there. This is the entire sub-assembly for the radiator, front snout, air conditioner, condenser, and so forth. Question, why is this painted with lizard skin? Why is that piece this color, that treatment, and so forth? The brief answer is you kind of use up what you've got. This lizard skin, once it's opened, it does not have a good shelf life, so if I use 3/4 of this to paint the bulkheads and underbelly of this thing, and I've got 1/4 of it left, it's like $100, $200 for that bucket, and if I don't use it, I'm going to lose it once I've opened it. So I painted some stuff just to be able to paint stuff and get a coating on it. Got the pedal assembly, the Willwood pedals with the master cylinders ready to go in. This deal here, we talked about this in a previous video, that this had 6 or 8 different designs. This is the pedal assembly that holds the gas pedal, and it was made out of the aluminum composite. This is a new design that is all the aluminum now. I think we made 6 or 8 different designs. I showed throwing in the trash all the ones before that. This is still another new design on this, and I'm real happy with that. I finally got all of the flex out of the gas pedal deal. Matter of fact, I got another one of those cut here that I'm going to send to another car. That's not put together yet, but that's another one of those pedal assemblies that's going to another car to upgrade that pedal assembly. Let me check my cheat sheet here and see what all I'm supposed to be talking about. Oh, you got new gauges as well. This is, come around here, let's look at this. This is the dash that's going in that car. It's not anywhere close to being finished. These gauges still have the protective plastic cover on it, but this is a Pro Sport brand gauge, and you can see the little buttons on here. Everything is programmable. These things are a analog and a digital gauge all together. You can program what color you want them. You can program your warning lights that are built into the gauges. It's just a whole lot neater deal than the VDO gauges. Kind of irritated with VDO anyway. Those fuel sender units that had the built-in fuel lines, they never provided a ponytail with a wiring deal to be able to do it. Nobody could put them in. Then they didn't sell very good, so then after I redesigned for it, they canceled it. So we've gone back to, come around here and look at this. We've gone back to the old style VDO sender unit, but now that that unit doesn't have the fuel line coming out of it, we've been able to move it from here up to here. This gets pretty crowded back here. You got a stereo speaker, you got a bunch of lines, you got the sender unit for the clutch pressure, brake pressure, just a whole lot of stuff happening here, and I was able to move it up here to get it out of the way. What we did was, now we've got to have a fuel line from it, which is right here. This line right here comes off of the fuel tank itself, and that will be the fuel line coming over to the water pump, the fuel pump, and the fuel filter. While we're around here, I want to show you something else. This is the entire electric emergency brake assembly. The 2 cables will go right here. That's the switch for the light. This is the linear actuator. That's the entire assembly. I want to show you something else here. This is what this assembly started like. This is the assembly concentric that makes the linear actuators. Got with me, who got with Control Cables Inc., who had Willwood wanting them to come up with electric e-brake deal. This is the first prototype of it. This is what they built. Concentrics people built the first time, and this is what it's evolved into. I kind of am out of that loop now. I turned Concentric over to Control Cable and let them continue developing that system for Willwood, and kind of split and went on my own on this system. And this right here, this particular car, this is the carpet that's going in the scupper here. This is the seat insert color right here. The body is going to be Corvette Shadow Gray, which has a whole lot of blue in it. And then I never would have dreamed that we'd have a blue interior pieces, but it really, really looks good. Let me get over here and get something. I want to show you this. I don't know if you can see this or not. This is the center console piece, and it is kind of dusty right now, but it is already painted that Corvette Shadow Gray. I have no idea if the blue will show up in that or not, but the other thing I wanted to show you here was, we talked about this before, but so I can just dummy this up. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, my belly button. This right here, this actuator and e-brake deal was just a cool looking mechanism, so I made what I call a belly button that is a glass that looks through right there, and when you work the e-brake you can see it working. I just thought that was neat. What else we got? E-brake, console belt. Oh, I want to show you one other thing. This is the kind of stuff that just drives you crazy. All of this, the pulleys, the water pump, everything's an RPC piece. Put dozens of these on before. Now I go to put this one on, and guess what? The pulley crashes into the water pump. Doesn't even come close to lining up. Never had any problem before. Called RPC. They said, well, maybe we've gone to a new casting. Okay, do you have the old casting? Yeah, we figured out there's a problem and we've gone back to the old casting. Okay, can you get me an old casting? Yeah, it'll be here tomorrow. But in the meantime, I can't finish dummying up the engine. One thing I have done though, the old brackets, I modified. I took old Air Products alternator and air conditioner brackets and modified them a little bit, because it's very critical, this distance and this distance with that rear bulkhead, and I couldn't make an off-the-shelf deal work, so I modified the shape of them a little bit, kept the same basic design. Well, these brackets bolted, as a lot of brackets did, to the top bolts of the water pump. Well, when I was redesigning, redoing, rethinking this water pump, I said, that's ridiculous. There's plenty of holes in the heads. Let's not make it part of the water pump. Let's just get it completely separate. So these are the brackets that I've used on numerous other cars, but they go into those water pump bolts, and I've completely redesigned those brackets to get totally away from that, made some pretty lightning holes in them and so forth, just to make it cute. But those are the new brackets that, see, all three bolts on all three brackets go into the heads. There's not this bolt right here and a goofy size spacer and so forth. But in the meantime, there is a complete alternator and air conditioner bracket, already stainless steel coated, and it is all going into the scrap aluminum box. How much time is that?
14.
That's good. I'll make that a wrap and make another